Hey friends, this wall art is from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use it today to make a grungy primitive picture. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take it apart, of course, and I am going to use the back of the picture, but I'm going to use this fabric that I stained. This fabric is also from Dollar Tree. I just grabbed the white fabric and I stained it. So I'm going to use the back side of that wall art and I'm going to trace around it. And I'm going to just cut this out. This is going to be my background, and then I'm going to use a paper bag and use the paper bag to stencil on. So I needed something square, and I found this little picture frame, and that worked out perfectly to make a little square. So then I cut that out, and then I actually wanted to rip the edges, so I used this water pen, and then I just ripped the edges. This project is inspired by Mary at the Painted Peach. She recently used my willow tree stencil and made a very cute project, and I'm going to use my willow tree stencil because she inspired me to pull it out and use it again because I haven't used it in a while. So I just used coffee bean on the trunk, and then I used English ivy for the rest of the tree. And if you haven't seen the cute video that Mary did, she's on YouTube, The Painted Peach. Go check it out. So after that, I decided to use my paint pen and make a cute little design around the edge of my picture. And I just think that this just added a little something to this primitive picture. Once I was done with that, I made sure that was good and dry, and then I started distressing. I used the Tim Holtz Distress ink in the black soot shade. After that, I took the board from the back of the picture and I used Mod Podge, and I'm just placing my fabric onto the board and then Mod Podging it on in sections. And I just continued to do this until I had the whole thing covered. After this, I used the dark sealing wax and I just brushed it around the edges of my fabric to make my fabric even more grungy than it was. And I think I got a little bit carried away with it, but I wanted to make it look like a dirty picture. And I know this look isn't for everybody, but if you're going for a grungy primitive look, the dark sealing wax works great for that. So I wadded up my brown paper sack picture, and then I'm putting some Mod Podge on the back. I didn't want it to look too perfect, and it had a crease by the bottom of the tree. So wadding it up kind of helped to hide that crease a little bit. So then I just placed it on, and then I went back over it with some more distress ink. I did that around the edges and a little bit of the dark sealing wax. And then off camera, I also had painted my frame black. Then I dry brushed some Waverly chalk paint in the fawn shade. I used that around the edges because I couldn't sand it because it is a plastic frame. So that worked to make it look like the edges were distressed. And then after that, I finished off with some finishing wax on the frame, and that's all that I did. I hope that you like it. Thank you for watching.